Overcoming and becoming. Overcoming and becoming, babe. If you want it, then become it. Just let your light shine through you, baby. Who you are, live life in your truth. Sister, love, you're amazing. And life is complete once we see who we are created to be. Overcome and become. Let your light shine through you, baby. Who you are, live life in your truth. Sister, love, you're amazing. And life is complete once we see who we are created to be. We are who we are, meant to be who we are.
Welcome to Overcoming and Becoming. I am your host, Latisa B. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about overcoming a public divorce. Before I do that, I want you guys to check out my fit. The House of Couture has sponsored me today, and I just want to send a special shout out to them. And I also want to thank Chicago Bar and Grill because they are the place that gives me somewhere to go and dance, drink, and have a good time on the north side of Houston. Check them out. We'll be right back after this break.
If you want it, then become it.
Become a part of a speaking agency that will show you how to stay relevant and be the speaking expert in your field now. Get ready to be ahead of the pack. Join the League of Champions and get ready for a champion comeback.
Overcoming and becoming. Overcoming and becoming, babe. If you want it, then become it.
Welcome back to Overcoming and Becoming. Joining me today is Kim Beatty, certified holistic wellness coach, registered yoga instructor, and the founder of She Wellness Coaching. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes, yes. And as I said, today we're going to be talking about overcoming a public divorce. And Kim, I think you know a little bit about that, huh?
Just a little bit, just a tad.
Yeah, can you share with our viewers a little bit about your story?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Latisa, I must admit, when we talked about this segment, this show, and the subject matter, I was thinking, I was, conflicted a little bit, only because it's been so long ago. It's been 12 years. And I just felt like, you know what, nobody wants to hear me talk about that. And then I thought, we're in a pandemic still, and then there's fires on one side of the country, and there's hurricanes on the other side of the country. I said, nobody wants to hear about all of that. But then I thought to myself, this subject matter is still a very real, a reality to so many people, to so many women, to so many men.
Yes.
Getting stuck in situations that are not healthy for us. And as a wellness coach in our nutrition training, they just hit it over the head, just hammered us over the head with this whole notion that you can eat all of the kale, you can eat all the broccoli you want, you can think you're so-called healthy, but if you're in toxic relationships, if you're in situations that are not healthy for you, you will not be well. And so I said, this is the time to talk about this. This is time to talk about this because there's so many people who are in situations and they think, I'm relatively healthy, but they're not really well because they're in situations that are toxic and that are not healthy for them.
So how was your relationship toxic? How was your divorce toxic?
I wouldn't say the divorce part was toxic
Okay.
because by that point, it was just amicable. It was time to go. Everybody it was time to go their ways. But I was married for 14 years. I was married to a pastor.
So we have first lady Kim Beatty.
Yeah.
I can imagine that was pretty public.
Yeah, that was a little public. That was a little public. But I was married for a long time, and what people saw on the outside was not the Kim on the inside. because there was a lot of silence and a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of things that I didn't show publicly. And I tell this to my clients all the time: repression is death, and expression is life. So I spent a lot of time just, really pushing down my feelings, pushing down the hurt, the pain, the neglect. There's just so much that I had gone through. But when I stood on that stage, or when I, got in front of the camera, it was just this happy person.
So you had a mask on?
Oh yes, I wore it well.
Oh, how many of you wear that mask? Everything's going on in the inside, but then we get there and we just as nice and smiling like nothing has ever happened.
Yeah.
Wow. When
So
did you
many
decide
people.
to take your mask off?
I guess it was like in that last year of marriage, and this still is so fresh for me today. I was sitting. I remember we had a big, beautiful palatial home out in the Woodlands, and I was sitting I was actually sitting on the step, because we had like a front stairwell and then we had the back stairwell. It was just a big old beautiful home, and I was sitting there on the step, and my son, he was 3 years old at the time, he walked down the stairs and he sat right next to me. And he said, "Mommy, are you okay? Mommy, what's wrong?" And I still tear up thinking about that, because children, they feel that. They feel that pain. They know when something's wrong, even though you may plaster a smile on your face. Your babies know.
Discernment.
They do. They have so much discernment. And so I sat there and I looked at him, and I wasn't even crying or anything, but he just felt the heaviness and the pain that I was experiencing. And I knew, you know what, Kim, you got to do this for him. You got to do this for him. And so many of us, we live in these toxic situations, and we think that, I'm just going to be the martyr, I'm just going to stick it out. But our families don't need us to be the martyr. Our families need us to be well.
Right. So being the first lady of the church, did that make you stay longer in the relationship, or did it even play a decision in why you stayed?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely played a huge part, because there was just so much at stake. Of course,
Right.
there's the lifestyle, and there's there's not only your own family, but other people. They are your extended family, and these are the people that are looking at you, that are looking to you, the people that you mentor, and it was just so much at stake. So it wasn't just this very simple decision that had to do with just you and your family. The world was watching, pretty much. You're on a stage. People put you on a pedestal, and
Even though you're just a regular woman.
you're just a regular old person who wants the same things in life that everyone else wants in life. You want to be seen. You want to be touched. You want to be loved. You want to know that you matter. You don't want to be an accessory. You don't want to just show up and just be
I understand.
that.
Yes.
just-
I understand.
You want to be
be
seen
you.
as a person. Yeah, you
Just
want to
be
be
you.
you. You want to be authentically you, which was the name of my first book that I wrote after divorce, was Authentically Me. Yeah.
Okay. So when you did file for divorce, how was that received by the church, by your extended family, by
Yeah.
everybody that put you on that pedestal?
Yeah, it was interesting, because when you're going through things, people tend to say things like, "Well, did you pray about it?" I'm like, I was married for 14 years. I think I prayed. I grew up, in church. My father was
Okay.
a pastor as well. So, yes, I did pray about this.
Yes.
And yes, I have sought counsel, and this is the choice that I have made. And so making the decision, it was very hard. And the people, of course, in the congregation almost felt like your parents are getting a divorce.
Yes.
So that was really, really tough. And I've been through that. My parents divorced when I was, young. And so I knew that that there was this whole sense of, that people would have that feeling of my parents are divorcing. And that's very painful. That's very hurtful.
I truly understand that. So when we're talking about, you said a lot of toxicity going inside of you, and how you had to release some of that stuff
Yeah.
out. When you took on that journey, is that when you decided to go holistically?
Well, I really, really wanted to, I had to. I had to be well. I had to be well for my son. I had to be well.
Okay.
I didn't want to have all of that mess on the inside of me. So that was the beginning of my holistic journey, and then it just grew from there.
Well, we're going to hear the rest of your holistic journey when we come back, okay? Right now, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. But before I do that, I want to say thank you to my sponsor, Real Champions League. Without her, this show would not be made possible. And this is where speakers were created, and they will go to the next level.
If you want it, then become it.
The only thing that's constant in this world is change. When you think about your most difficult change, do you get emotional? Maybe angry, sad, or frustrated? If you do, there's a high probability you have not healed the wounds of your past. I'm Latisa B, a certified grief coach, helping women to let go of the emotional pain that's been holding them hostage so they can live a healthier and happier life. To learn more, schedule a free discovery call at workwithlatisa.com.
Overcoming and becoming. Overcoming and becoming, babe. If you want it, then become it.
Welcome back to Overcoming and Becoming. If you've just tuned in, we have been talking to my guest, Kim Beatty, and how she has overcome her public divorce as she was the first lady of her church. And she was just about to share with us her journey to healing. Kim, can you take us through your journey, and how did you get from point A to point C?
Thank you. It has been quite a journey. I'm still on that journey. Yes. And the whole healing journey, I think it just evolves over time. Mm-hmm. And it started out for me, one of the things that was so important for me, and I didn't even realize it, was just being outside in nature. Just sitting out. We lived out in the woodlands, and I would go to this park that I would take my son to all the time. And I would just sit out there by the water and watch the ducks. And I didn't realize the impact that just being out there in nature had on me, but it was a part of my healing journey. So just being present, just getting out of my head and just getting into the moment. So that all of that was a part of the healing journey. I believe that healing should be holistic. So there's that mind, body, soul wellness, and part of that journey was just me taking in the Creator's creation, and just being out there amongst nature, among the water, amongst the trees, amongst the wind, and the ducks. And
so for our viewers who don't really know what holistic means,
yeah.
Can you just share what your view of what it means to be holistic and to take a holistic journey? Absolutely.
So to me, to be holistic is to look at your wellness, your well-being, in different areas. Your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, all of that has to do with your wellness. Because sometimes we will, like I was saying earlier, we'll eat right, but then we have other things that we don't necessarily attend to. So it's really paying attention and bringing wellness to every area of your life. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you believe the grief that you experienced during the loss of your marriage, the holistic lifestyle help you to grieve that?
Yes, because it provided tools for me. It provided tools for me to heal. Okay. For some people it's prayer. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that was a part of it was prayer. But then the other part, sitting outside in nature. And then there was the other part, dancing, which is where we met.
This is where we met.
On the dance floor.
We are both dancers. Yes, we are both dancers.
Well, you're the queen of the dance, right? But I was learning from you. And so that was a big part of my healing journey. Just getting out and meeting people and, not just sitting and, and being depressed all the time.
Right.
And
so I follow you on social media, and I'm a part of your wellness group, and I see a lot of the food that you eat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I didn't grow up on that food. And it's very colorful, very beautiful. How different is that food that you eat now than the food you grew up on?
Quite different. In fact, I have two of my grandmothers that passed on, and I called them my sugar mamas. They both had sugar diabetes.
Oh, wow.
And other, conditions. And so we ate a lot of processed foods growing up. We had a lot of sugar in our diet growing up. And even before I started my holistic health journey, I didn't realize how much sugar I consumed. And so we do these challenges in our community. We'll do like a sugar detoxing challenge just to really educate people to just to take a look at really what you're putting in your body, because a lot of times we don't know, and we think, I'm pretty healthy, or I eat pretty, but we don't really know. And so it's really important that we look at what we're putting into this body temple.
How hard was it for you to change your eating habits from the way you used to eat to the way you eat now? What was the hardest thing to actually give up?
The Chick-fil-A. I love me some Chick-fil-A. So that was probably the hardest thing. And then my son, every now and then, he'll still eat it. But he hears me talk about wellness so much. And sometimes I'll hear him speaking to some of his friends about what they're eating. And he'll go, it's got a lot of sugar in that, So our kids are picking up on that as well. They pick up on things when we're not well, and they pick up on when we are thriving and well. And then, I talk a lot about generational health, because we talk about generational wealth a lot, right? But I talk about generational health. And so your health, your family's health is oftentimes contingent upon your health. So we got to get well so the people around us can get well.
A lot of times I like to say that diseases are not inherited. It's the diet that's inherited. So if we change our diet and we choose different foods, we actually get to impact the health of our surroundings.
Yep.
And I do believe that. So when I see your food, I actually try some of those foods that you put online. And I do my sugar detoxes as well, because I do believe that we have to detox a lot of the things that we are putting in our bodies in order for us to experience a holistic way of being and being in touch with ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I believe holistic is the way to go. I've grown up in church all my life, and there are a lot of people who may seem spiritually well, but then it's the other stuff. It's like, can we get well in this body temple? Can we get well up here? A lot of women that I talk to, a lot of women that I mentor, they look for husbands, and the first thing they'll put, like, they want to get a Christian man. And, when I started dating, I was on one of those dating sites, and I would put on there, they put religion, and so I put Christian. But I met some of the most horrible people. So you gotta, because just because you're Christian doesn't mean that you have dealt with your pain. Like you said, let's heal together. A lot of people may not have dealt with their pain. And so we gotta look at life holistically, not just because you go to church or because you're a part of some sort of religion. Have you dealt with your pain?
Yes, that's just one aspect.
Unpacked, exactly. Have you unpacked some of these things that you've gone through from your past?
Right.
Yeah, all of that goes together to your
wellness. Because as we know, most of us, we really don't want to feel anything, and we really just generally try to avoid all that stuff. All that stuff. And when we avoid it, all we do is just push it down, and we put that on the next person.
We do. And then what we don't realize that we do to ourselves, and so many women do, is, I said earlier, repression is death and expression is life. Some of the things that we've not processed, those emotions, they get lodged into our bodies. They show up as sickness, they show up as disease, they show up as fibroids, they show up as breast cancer. And so they say the issues in our tissues, when we don't deal with that stuff, it goes somewhere.
Well, we're going to come right back, because I want you to share with my viewers how they can take care of some of the things so it doesn't embed inside of them when we come back. But for right now, I want to thank my sponsor for this segment, Kagan Lane Photography. If you are really trying to capture something in the moment, he's your guy for you. We'll be right back.
If you want it, then become it.
Have you been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease or in chronic pain? Issues with your neck, your back, and even waking up in the morning, you just do not feel yourself. It's stopping you from daily activities that you would normally do on a regular basis. Have your doctors failed you? Are you trying not to lose hope? Your faithful appointments, you continue to keep them, and you see there's no hope in sight? Are you tired of fighting your body and ready to win this battle? It's time for you to return to fun, laughter, dancing, and family time. At JWU Holistic Healing, we help you to naturally eliminate your chronic pain so you can start enjoying life the way you want to. For more information, go to eliminatemychronicpain.com and schedule a free discovery call.
Overcoming and becoming. Overcoming and becoming, babe. If you want it, then become.
Welcome back to Overcoming and Becoming. If you have just tuned in, we have been talking to Kim, and she has been sharing her healing journey with us and how she has been able to take her life from A to Z. And now she's going to actually give us some tips for if you're in a similar situation.
Yes.
Kim, for our viewers who may be watching the show today and they see themselves in their shoes, where they are in a public divorce and they're contemplating, should I go through with this or not, or should I just stay for everybody else? What would you tell her?
Wow, that is such a great question. If you're watching and you are contemplating divorce, I don't wish divorce on anyone, but if you're in the situation and you've sought counsel, you've done some work on yourself, and you realize that you're in a toxic situation, I want to let you know that, first of all, you are not alone. You're never alone. I've been there, and so many other women have been right where you are. And God's promises to us is that God will always be there, no matter where we go in life, no matter if we ascend to the highest mountain, no matter if we descend to the lowest parts of the earth, God is there with you. And I think that's one of the things that helped me even through my transition to know, was knowing that I would never be left alone through the transition. And so that really gave me the courage just to know that I wouldn't be by myself. And then I was also very blessed to have a lot of the tools, this holistic lifestyle has afforded me. So things like meditation helps, joining a yoga class. I love yoga. I'm a yoga teacher, so that is definitely a part of my journey and my wellness journey and my health and wellness on a daily basis. I do some yoga every day. Things like being mindful, being present with our families, and truly taking care of yourselves. As I shared earlier, your family does not need you to be the martyr. They need you to be well.
Right. And a lot of times we as women, we hold the burden of everything on our shoulders, thinking we need to do that when everybody really just want to see us happy.
Yeah.
And if happiness means that you have to move forward without this person in your life, then that's what you should do.
Yeah.
You have to own what's important for you. What is important to take you to the next step, and take everybody else out of it, because without you being healthy, the family is unhealthy.
That's right. That's right. And I think about my 3-year-old son, who's now 16 years old, by the way, and driving and tall and has a beard and mustache, and it's just too fast. But I see him now and the person who he is becoming.
Yes.
I am so blessed that I'm raising a very happy and a healthy child who values wellness, who values holistic health. And I remember that 3-year-old child, and had I stayed in that situation, I know, first of all, I know with everything in me that had I stayed, the things that I was going through and pushing down would have manifested in disease in my own body. And I know that would have greatly impacted my child.
Yes, because our children are us.
Yep.
They feel us, and whatever is resonating inside of us is going to pour inside of
Absolutely.
them unintentionally.
Yes.
We have to remember what we go through, our children, they see it, and they are way more resilient than you think they are.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes we think, oh, well, they're going to be really impacted by the trauma, and they do, because it's all trauma. It's being uprooting them. But we've got to trust,
Yes.
and we also have to provide them the tools. So whether that is the counseling for
Yes.
ourselves, for our families, whether that is really being present, because I think sometimes I know sometimes we think we have to provide all of these things, but our children, they really want us to be present. And so I made a lot of sacrifices, and I didn't, go full-fledged right into work, and I didn't work myself like a dog, like I really wanted to, because I needed that lifestyle. But no, I said I will definitely just kind of have a different lifestyle. May not have the same things, don't drive the same fancy cars, don't live in the same, but we're happy and we are healthy. And we have a healthy home. So that's really what's important.
That's very important, to be happy and healthy, where you guys actually heal together.
Yes, absolutely.
Heal together.
You heal together. As a family, you heal together. And that's one of the things that healing happens in community. And so we need that. We need to heal together. It's not just your healing, we all heal together.
Right. I remember watching this, a Netflix show. And it was a documentary, it was in an African community. And they talked about, or they shared the story when one child died. The entire village mourned the death of the child. Not just the mother or the father, the entire village. So that's what happens when we lose something that we love, no matter if it's a relationship, your money, your job. The entire community that's impacted by it should mourn together.
Absolutely.
Because this is what's important. We all have to heal together.
It's a rite of passage. Every time we go through anything that's traumatic, it's a rite of passage. It is going from one transition to another. And so it's important that we go through that together.
Thank you so much, Kim, for being on today's show and sharing your story with my audience. I just want to let everyone know that healing is something that we all are entitled to doing. You do not have to suffer in silence anymore. Today's episode, it has been sponsored by JWU Holistic Healing, and she is in a place that she's ready to help you to put your heels back on again, because she's going to help you to eliminate that chronic pain. We'll be right back after this break.
If you want it, then become it.
Become a part of a speaking agency that will show you how to stay relevant and be the speaking expert in your field now. Get ready to be ahead of the pack. Join the League of Champions and get ready for a champion comeback.
Let's be honest. Making a lukewarm marketing video is fairly simple. But who wants lukewarm marketing? Instead, how about something that conveys your unique message? Well, that takes creativity, and creative is what we are. We design custom logos. We even offer professional print services. Our goal is to showcase how good your idea is, no matter what your product is. Whether it's social media marketing for a new author or the artwork for the book itself, we can help. You've created a new app and need a TV commercial to show it to the world. We can help.
Now they're Stork Advisor.
If you're a photographer trying to show off your work in a unique way, we can help. Need a promo for your TV show? We can help with that too.
It's Couch Time with Sonia.
We're an artistic bunch and we love the creative process. We're not trying to be the best in Houston. We're trying to be the best for you.
Overcoming and becoming. Overcoming and becoming, babe. If you want it, then become it.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to Overcoming and Becoming. What a wonderful show we just had. And if you want to get in touch with Kim, you can contact her at www.shewellnesscoach.com. And until next time, I'll see you then.
If you want it, then become it. Just let your light truth